What's up guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm talking about the future of our boy Koga in Kengan Omega. Many people including me agree that Koga is the protagonist or one of the three main protagonists of Kengan Omega currently. Sadly he's not fighting in the tournament against Purgatory, but he's still on Team Kengan watching all the fight take place, which will cause great development for our boy Koga. When he was first introduced to the story, he was shown, destroying people in random dojos and martial arts centers around the place, just destroying everyone until his friend told him about the Kengan matches. They searched online and saw some images, and that's where Koga ended up meeting Yamashita and is now working as an employee under Yamashita Trading Co. My goal for 2020 was to reach 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so be a mad lad and subscribe alongside these other cool things. Now enjoy the video. We also learned that his main goal, or one of his many goals for entering the Kengan matches, was to somewhat fight or get revenge on our boy Takita Oma. But that's where he was told when he was first introduced that Takita Oma had died. But as you know, chapter 50, Oma's alive, and then once Koga actually met Oma, his revenge mindset was kind of gone and he kind of moved beyond that. Throughout the story so far, most of Koga's development has come through training, being trained by various characters we've seen in Fist of the Seeker and Kengan Ashura, such as Sega Bahashi, and then his assumed cousin or uncle Joji from Fist of the Seeker, the master of Cosmo Adam, and his various other characters have been training Koga throughout the story so far, with our boy's current goal being to get stronger and have his first Kengan match. He had a practice match to see whether he's worthy of entering the Kengan Association. He passed that. Now we're just waiting for his first official match. But when will we actually get that? As we know, the Purgatory vs Kengan tournament is currently commencing, and most likely after this tournament we'll probably get some worm stuff. We have Koga learning a lot from watching these various fights and talking to some of the other fighters from Team Kengan to learn more about various fighting styles, tactics, and what is actually going on in a fight like that. And we see this improvement from him with Yamashita noticing that Koga is realizing what's going on during the fight that the other fighters are also realizing, showing that Koga is getting close to that level of an actual Kengan fighter. Now to cover how strong I think Koga will become, his most impressive ability we've seen is somewhat linked to Yamashita's ancestor and Yamashita himself, with his kinetic vision, with Koga shown to have insanely overpowered vision and ability to notice not too noticeable stuff, including while fighting, which is pretty impressive, as shown when he took on all those worm members. Like I think it was 5-on-1, was able to defeat all of them and then end up surviving with great injuries after that. And then even before that we had earlier parts of him being able to work out Kokuro's stinger technique or discern the stinger technique from actually seeing it just once, being able to somewhat work it out, which is pretty impressive. So he's a character that may be actually related to Yamashita somehow with this kinetic vision he seems to have. Apart from that, he seems to be gifted in learning various martial arts, as many of the masters he's been trained by have noticed throughout the story so far. I feel that after the Kengan vs Purgatory tournament, two things can happen. We'll have a whole worm arc right after the tournament with maybe an invasion at the end of the tournament with Team Kengan winning, all the members are weak or something, and then the worm invasion comes out to fight off, similar to how they did in the Kengan Ashura Annihilation tournament around the middle, but this will be at the end, so all the fighters will actually be quite injured, and that's where all the spectators, maybe Koga himself, will have to fight various worm members as well alongside some of the other Kengan members, and maybe even some of the Purgatory members will help as well. That could happen, or maybe the tournament will end, Purgatory wins, Kengan wins, it doesn't really matter who wins. We maybe get another training arc with Koga, maybe Koga gets trained by Oma or something like that, or maybe something happens to Gairyuki and that Koga's trying to find him or something like that. We'll have to see what happens with Gairyuki and his fight with Naden, which I believe will be concluded in the next 2 weeks or maybe even next week based on how the fight is going so far, with Koga not wanting Gairyuki to kill, but seems like Gairyuki has snapped during the last chapter, which is pretty interesting to see how Koga will be able to reel Gairyuki back in after this fight or whatever happens during the fight. So most likely at some point we're going to get Koga's first Kengan match, maybe a training arc for Koga again, getting trained by some other Kengan Ashura characters such as Oma, maybe this Kano Gito, something like that, who knows. It's going to be more training for Koga. His first official match, most likely win that, and then I see maybe Koga helping in fighting Worm if the Worm stuff happens after the tournament, and then once all the Worm stuff actually concludes and ends, maybe some characters die, I think that's where we're going to end up getting another training arc for Koga. We'll see some some of his Kengan matches, some Kengan matches from other characters, a new plot introduction may happen, and then I think they're going to build up to a new type of tournament that's not going to be involving Purgatory. It's going to be maybe a Kengan Annihilation tournament or something like that. This is where it'll probably be a time skip, so Koga will probably be like 24, 25, so it'll be 3 years from where we're actually at now. And by the end of the story of Kengan Omega, I do see Koga becoming in top 10 and maybe even top 5 strongest in the series. We'll have to see what happens, see whether he's able to develop his kinetic vision, see who else trains him, see what techniques he's able to learn. But I'm most excited to see his first official Kengan match and whether or not he takes place in fighting Worm or is involved in the whole Worm thing that happens. Let me know down in the comments what you think the future of Koga will be, and hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe, join the Discord, and yep, that's it guys. Peace.